Listen, this is not a legal channel, and I'm not an attorney. And this isn't even a 3D printing firearm channel. This is a tech and 3D printing channel. But 2026 has started out absolutely crazy, with Washington, New York, and now California taking swings that land on the maker community. And make no mistake, what I'm about to show you is being framed as about ghost guns. But the way this works, the end result can be way bigger than that. Now, this is commentary on a public filing, not legal advice, and I'm going to be probably saying alleged a lot for that reason. Here's the point I want you to understand. If the government can treat sharing code, CAD, and instructions like a thing that they can shut down through civil lawsuits, then the argument won't stay limited to one category forever. Today, it's one topic, tomorrow it's a different topic, and eventually it's your files, your projects, and your designs. Because if someone decides that they don't like what you're making, they'll do this to you. This is about creative freedom. It's about digital distribution and whether the state can use a civil enforcement hammer to discourage entire categories of making. And I'm saying this with some personal heat because I've been on the receiving end of California coming at me in a civil context as well, literally trying to financially and emotionally grind me down. So I recognize the playbook. Now let's talk facts. California, through the Attorney General and the San Francisco City Attorney, filed a civil complaint in San Francisco Superior Court against a group tied to the Catalog and Control Pew plus other individuals. This is a civil lawsuit seeking obvious things like injunctions. Those are court orders to stop certain conduct. Civil penalties, that's obviously money penalties per violation, and there's other equitable relief. This is not me saying who's right or wrong. I'm telling you what's being alleged and why the mechanism matters to anyone who shares files online. According to the complaint, California alleges that these sites distributed and promoted downloadable files and instructions related to 3D printed firearms and prohibited firearms accessories. The complaint names specific platforms and links like thegatalog.com, controlpew.com, and it points to file hosting and profiles on Odyssey as part of how the downloads happened. The state also alleges investigators were able to access and download files from California, and that they describe building a firearm using one of the referenced files again. That's what the complaint alleges. Now, why does this matter to you, even if you don't care about the subject matter? Because the legal theory being pushed isn't just possession of a thing. It's distribution of code and facilitating manufacturing. That's the part that you should be paying attention to. Here's where I'm going to be blunt. If you think this is only about 3D printing firearms, you are missing the bigger picture. Because what's really being tested is this. Can the state take a category of digital files, code, instructions, models, and treat the hosting and sharing of that information as something that they can shut down or punish through civil enforcement? And once that door opens, the temptation is obvious. Today, one controversial category. Tomorrow, anything labeled unsafe, unapproved, regulated, misinformation, IP infringement, circumvention, whatever. And then it becomes, we don't like what you made, so we're coming after you, your platform, your payment processors, your merch, your hosting, your donors. Makers run on sharing, remixing, instructions, and open distribution. That's the heart of our culture. And the mechanism here threatens that culture. This is an attack on your ability to create, on creativity itself, because creativity is the upstream source of all of this. Now, one thing I need to be careful about. Civil doesn't mean that absolutely no laws were broken. Civil cases can still allege statutory violations and seek penalties, but there's a huge difference between civil and criminal. The difference is the type of case and the remedies being asked for, not necessarily whether the conduct is lawful. What I can say is this. This route lets the state bring overwhelming resources, and the pressure can be punishment, legal fees, time, stress, regardless of how the case ends. That's why this hits so hard for small creators and niche communities. And it's not just 3D printing. If you have a CNC, laser, lathe, resin casting, electronics, firmware, code repositories, CAD marketplaces, you're in the same universe. Digital instructions to physical reality. If the rule becomes, if your files can be used to make something the government doesn't like, we can sue you for distributing them or facilitating it. Then where does that stop? Because that logic applied broadly touches everything from drone parts to lockpicks to privacy tools to right to repair. This is why the maker community should treat this like a first they came for this moment. Not because the topics are identical, but because the tool is the same. And one other note to kind of prove that this really isn't about 3D printing ghost guns. Washington, New York, and California already made 3D printing ghost guns illegal. So this is more about the control over the files and the distribution of those files. And I promise you, it's not just going to be related to 3D printing firearms and accessories. And I think today, I just saw that there's legislation in another state, Colorado, which is making the possession of those files illegal, just like in Washington state. So this is interesting. This is literally a full court press with multiple states attacking makers from every angle. And so it will be soon illegal to possess any type of file that has anything to do with firearms or firearm-related accessories, or even files that might be used or have the potential to be related to firearms or firearms accessories. This is a scary world that we're moving into. And I want to be careful with one more claim too. Instead of saying this is definitely coordinated, I'll say it like this. This sure feels an awful lot like this is a coordinated trend across multiple states. And makers are the ones standing in the blast radius. So what do? 1, read the complaint yourself. I'm linking it below. You don't have to take my word for it. 2, watch how the legal theory is phrased. Distribution of code, facilitation, and promotion. 3, pay attention to how platforms respond. Hosting, payment, merch, donations, because that's often where these fights get won or lost culturally, because it doesn't matter if they won or lost in a courtroom. 4, if you care about maker freedom long-term, support organizations and legal efforts that defend digital rights and maker rights. I'm not telling you who to support. Just don't sit this one out. Now, keep in mind when you're reading this lawsuit that it is the absolute job of the state and the prosecutors to make the defendants look like monsters. That is their job. There is quite a bit of inflammatory language in the lawsuit. It talks about alter egos. It talks about them funding their illegal enterprise by selling t-shirts and hats and sweatshirts. But that's the job. And it's to make the defendants look like monsters in the event that they end up in front of a jury. So just keep that in mind. Keep that in context when you're reading this. I actually had a different video in progress, and I stopped what I was doing to cover this because I think this matters so much. This is about big government. And yes, I know what that sounds like because I can hear it coming out of my mouth. But they are using a massive amount of power on a niche community. And whether you agree or disagree with the subject matter, you should care about the precedent. Because if they get this and they win, they won't stop at one category. The target moves. Now drop your thoughts below. Keep it respectful. Keep it smart. And if you want me to do a follow-up breakdown on the specific claims and how the defendants might argue back, let me know, because this case is going to matter.